Hey everybody, it's CJ with I just wanted to warn you guys again, my voice is, I don't know if it's going through some changes or if it's allergies, who can honestly say. But my voice is still a little bit off, not that it was ever great to begin with, and I don't claim to be a great voice actor, singer, etc. I just do this because I really enjoy it, it's a great hobby, and I'm an artist. What can I say? So I really hope you guys enjoy this video and can overlook the weirdness of my voice. Alright. Oh, and don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and hit that notification button to get all the latest updates of my videos. Every little bit helps because I'm a tiny channel. So enjoyed episode 8 of What If? What if Ruby was in The Land Before Time 8, The Big Freeze? Part 1. A few season cycles passed since Chomper, the Sharptooth, left with his sky being parents. And every night since his departure, Ruby, the fast runner, snuck off to her thinking place and studied the stars with experienced precision. White dots lit up the vast darkness, and one little light was out of place. Ruby was no stranger to the collection of constellations. Ever since she was young, Ruby's parents taught her how to read the sky should she ever lose her way. And perhaps, without Chomper as her guiding light, she had lost her way. But she never let anyone know this. Not her friends, not even her family. No one knew the pain she held and carried within her heart, the sadness she felt, the dull loneliness. Not knowing if or even when Chomper would return was like waiting for rain in a drought, long and perhaps even a bit hopeless. But as before, from the time of the great earthshake to present, hope was something she'd never lose. In her spare time, Ruby volunteered to help Mr. Thicknose, an older three-horn who was said to be the oldest and wisest among the members of the Great Valley, who taught the gang about life outside the Great Wall. The gang consisted of Littlefoot the Longneck and their leader, Sarah the tough, no-nonsense three-horn, Ducky the ever-optimistic swimmer and sometimes Big Mouth due to her loose tongue, the nervous flyer Petrie, and then there was gentle giant Spike. Since Ruby was intelligent and knowledgeable, she became Mr. Thicknose's apprentice of sorts, and perhaps was being taught to one day, teach the next generation of Great Valley members. Was it her dream or her goal? It seemed better than endlessly staring at the sky and hoping for Chomper to come back, especially since it seemed he had to be taught important stuff of his own kind. Sky beings, whatever that was. By late morning, Ruby sat with her friends and listened to Mr. Thicknose's long-winded lecture, blinking a few times to keep from dozing off. Not that Mr. Thicknose wasn't fascinating in his own right, since he pretty much knew everything there was to know about anything and everything. The only problem was trying to stay awake long enough to hear what he was sharing. His deep, soft, monotone voice was perfect for lulling young ones into a sleepy state. Ruby took a deep breath and looked toward Ducky, who nodded off, catching Mr. Thicknose's attention. "Ducky, please try to stay awake. This is very important." "But Spike was half asleep too." "Ducky, must I repeat myself? Can't you be quieter, like Spike?" Ruby wasn't one to question an adult. However, she found the unfair treatment to her friend to be a bit too much and stepped in, though as politely and delicate as possible so as not to offend him. "Mr. Thicknose, sir, perhaps we should take a break. Taking a short break might be best for all." "Ruby, I am the oldest and wisest in the Great Valley, and I say when we break. There is still too much to review in the short time I have to spare for these lessons. The best thing you can do is listen to me." As Mr. Thicknose lectured Ruby on his importance and value among the adults, Littlefoot held a curious expression and wandered off into the brush. Behind a hollowed-out log, Littlefoot leaned down and took a deep inhale before he blew with all his might. The blaring caused Mr. Thicknose to panic and ram his head into the trunk of a tree. From above and all around, leaves fluttered downward. It worked! Thanks for the idea, Mr. Thicknose. Littlefoot paused when he realized the test did anything but please or impress the old three-horn. Oh, I'm sorry. By that point, Mr. Thicknose had had enough of the gang and decided it was time to end the day's teachings. The lessons are completed today. Congratulations, you are all dismissed. The gang didn't dilly-dally and hurried off, getting the sense Mr. Thicknose was none too happy and probably had a splitting headache. Going along slowly, Littlefoot lowered his head with shame and discouragement. I didn't mean to upset Mr. Thicknose. I was just testing out what he taught us earlier about how noise can make leaves fall. He might be the oldest and wisest, but that doesn't make him the oldest and wisest. You're all just jealous 'cause he likes me best. Teacher's pet. What did you say? Nothing. Me say nothing. Petrie darted behind Ducky to hide from Sarah's fury. That's what I thought. With Chomper not around, it's hard for me to find someone to tease. Petrie and the rest just cower like hatchlings. At least with Chomper, he gave me something to work with. Sarah! Littlefoot nudged her when Ruby froze at the mention of their unaccounted sharp-toothed friend. What? What? Realizing the still reaction of her fast-runner friend, Sarah stammered and said, Who are you to question me? Least I didn't anger Mr. Thicknose today, or the day before, or the day before that. Yeah, Mr. Thicknose definitely no like Ducky, Ruby, or Littlefoot. Petrie fluttered to set on Littlefoot's back. Which is shame. He doesn't like them because they question his knowledge and authority. In short, Mr. Thicknose wants to believe he's the best, so my advice is to keep quiet and let him keep believing that. We lie? I don't know about lying, Sarah. No. If you don't want to get in trouble, you'll do as I say. Holding a solemn expression, Ruby bid her friends farewell and slowly headed home, which was weird since she was a fast runner and always had a skip in her step. At the secret caverns, Ruby paused briefly and waited in the brush at the sight of a visitor. Outside the entrance, Mr. Thicknose addressed Trudy and Rodney about Ruby. The twins ran around, clearly annoying Mr. Thicknose further. While intelligent, Ruby must learn when and where to voice her opinions. That during my lessons is not when she should talk in circles. I had hoped to make her my successor. However, I have my doubts when it comes to her interest in taking on such an important role. If she can't keep quiet and listen to me, she might not be the best role model for younglings. And I also hear that she was close to a sharp-toothed boy. Was that true? Our daughter's friends are our daughter's business. The sharp-toothed boy, well, he is no longer here in the valley. Well, that's some good news. The Great Valley is no place for sharp teeth. We thank you for stopping by, and we'll consider what you told us. Consider it we will. Rodney replied hastily to get the conversation over with. Very good. Have a nice evening, Mr. and Mrs. Fast Runner. With a lowered gaze, Ruby made her way to her thinking spot, wanting to be alone even more. The only comfort to the end of her day was to study the stars, hoping and waiting for her best friend to return. What she didn't expect to find was someone at her thinking place. She gasped when she saw a figure sitting on a rock that overlooked the great valley. For a moment she worried it was Hip, that he'd stalked her and found her thinking place, which meant she'd have to move her thinking place again. Though as she drew closer with curiosity, the figure was far from Hip's color or build. I tracked your scent here and figured I'd wait here to surprise you, a familiar voice commented warmly. The moment the figure turned, Ruby recognized the toothy grin right away. Chomper! She rushed to him, and when she stood face to face with him, she held a bewildered expression. He was taller, with wider shoulders and much larger arms. He was not a typical Sharptooth, being a new, unknown being. You look different, It's part of my sky being abilities. I can shapeshift, and, well, I settled on this form. He waved his arms over himself. Do you think I look weird? I can change back.
Oh no, Chomper, don't ever think you have to change how you look to impress me. I like however you look. Wait, what am I saying? Well, what am I saying?
I've missed you.
I've missed you, too. Missed you I have.
Without hesitation, Ruby embraced Chomper.
Oh, Chomper, I knew you'd return. I knew it.
How are things in the Great Valley?
Oh, not the same since you've been gone. I had sleep stories about you. It was so real it felt.
I visited you in your sleep stories, Ruby. They were real. I can talk with you through the between space, a realm that connects us, no matter the distance. I even visited with a gang, though I doubt they knew it was really me.
I'm just glad you're back.
Leaning into him, the worries of the world melted away.
Back, I'm glad that you are.
Hand in hand, they headed to the secret caverns, where the Fast Runner parents and Sharp Teeth parents waited. Charity and Chance came to visit the Fast Runner family once in a while. Either that or Chomper visited them in their sleep stories to tell them he was coming back. Ruby! Trudy hurried and hugged Ruby. Then she lit up at the sight of Chomper. Chomper, oh, it's wonderful to see you. To see you again is wonderful. Son! Chance smiled at Chomper. Mom, Dad! Chomper reached out to be lifted and nuzzled atop their muzzles. Oh, my boy has come back, and look at how grown up you are. Grown up and ready to take the next step in life. Ruby is still available, by the way. Chance! Charity tapped him with her tail. We're simply glad you're safe and sound, son. We have a lot of catching up to do. After greeting the twins with some secret, strange handshake, Chomper was eager to share his travels and time away with all. But that would have to wait till the following day, for it was time to hit the nest. Ruby wanted to stay with Chomper, but instead joined her family inside. Once the twins settled to sleep, Ruby sighed and wrung her hands, awaiting the conversation that transpired between her parents and Mr. Thicknose. Anxious to get it over with, that was, if she were in trouble or not.
Are you mad at me, Father, Mother? Mad at me, are you?
Why would we be upset with you when you've done nothing for us to be mad about?
Mr. Thicknose was here.
Oh, Ruby, we know you are not impolite or overly outspoken. In truth, Mr. Thicknose has no one special in his life. Really, the older male has nothing but his dignity. When he feels it's threatened, he tends to, get very upset. And while it's hard, the best thing to do would be to let him talk. In short, honey, some males are big blowhards with overinflated egos and major insecurities, who can't handle an intelligent female. Rodney, it's true. He was rude to you. Rude to you he was. Trudy nodded to this. Thus, Rodney continued. I may put up with many things around here, but when someone acts so arrogantly as he does, well, it bothers me. Ruby's eyes widened.
I have never seen you so mad before, Father. Never ever have I seen you this angry.
I'm sorry. I should not have raised my voice so. With a smile, Trudy leaned over to nuzzle him. That's why I love you, my dear. You're so passionate. Glad her parents weren't upset with her. Ruby hugged them and headed off to her sleeping place. Chomper was back. Her parents weren't mad at her. Things seemed to be going well, and nothing would change that.